Hello, everybody, and welcome to my channel. My name is Grace Sims, and this is my first time posting an audio recorded video or a narrated video, if you will. For this house today, I based it on a floor plan I found online. I do like to use floor plans for this whole save file. I am actually rebuilding every house on the lot. I'm going to be adding families and but that's a long time down the road. But this is one of the houses I decided to add. This is in Brindleton Bay. This house is based on this lovely little farmhouse I found online. I will post a link to it below in the description box if you wanted to go and take a look. You can also find the link to the music there, which I thought was real fun. For this house, I struggled a lot because the roofing in The Sims 4 has a lot of restrictions when it comes to rooms and having roof walls be a part of the room. So, you can't have like vaulted attic style rooms. They have to have straight walls. So for this, I did change a fair bit of the floor plan to get it all to work, and I did struggle trying to get all the roofing to line up right. So there are segments I just cut out just about everything because it took me a couple of hours to get it all figured out because I really struggled. So instead, there was only supposed to be one kind of bump out there, but I decided to do a second one just so I have room for the stairs and the hallway, the upstairs hallway. So this house has 3 bedrooms. I did decorate them, but you can of course change whatever you'd like. This house is also built with custom content. You will be able to download the blueprints, I think is what they're called, for this house. It'll be all zipped up with a link to them in the description box below. I'll include instructions on how to install this, along with all the mods I used to build this house. If you do not have the mods, you will not have everything in the house because the majority of the house is built with mods, with custom content. A majority of the things I use is built by Peacemaker, an incredibly gifted simmer and content creator. Like, oh my gosh, it's some of the most realistic and versatile selection of objects I could find. So when I build a house, I like to build the construction first, just the outer layout. I kind of lay the inside out a little bit, but mostly I stick to the exterior just so I can figure out where things are going to go. And then I start with the garden. I don't, as you can see, there's no foundation right now because I found sometimes when you're trying to lay flowers while there is a foundation, it just kind of sets them at the foundation height if you get too close to the wall. So this way I found that they will stay in place when you raise the foundation up. And I wasn't always a big fan of this shrubbery, but I found out if you lay 2 of them, you can kind of fill in the awkward empty spaces for the unkempt shrubbery, make it look a little more full. I also found when you change the wall view to the lowest point like that, you can see my mouse, the paintbrush is not having any trouble with the walls because for some reason, the paintbrushes seem to have issues when there's a wall in the way. It kind of just bumps up against it, and it makes it kind of difficult to shadow the edges of the house and make it look like it's actually rooted into the ground. So there you can see I did raise the foundation up finally, and I'm starting out on the siding. The siding is made by Peacemaker. He includes different trim types, which is incredible, and I wish we had more options for siding, when it comes to the trim parts, because some of the trim pieces just don't work right. So like Peacemaker makes one tile double trim, or the kind where it does the auto trim on the corner, and then the kind with I do change the colors to white because I felt it was more beach appropriate, although I did test out a couple of options for the roof color wise. I decided to just stick with the kind of silvery gray. So something Peacemaker made here is what I'm playing with here is these screen windows. They are just incredibly detailed and they're just gorgeous. I love them. And again, something I wish we had in the base game. But they just set the tone for the whole house. It makes it look super summer housey. As you saw there was a little flash of the floor plan I based this house on. I was trying to find out what windows and doors I was looking for. So I do change these doors eventually because I went with Peacemaker's Georgian set. And he had in that set there's different size windows, different types, and the with doors to match. And one thing I really love about Peacemaker's stuff is again he includes a huge amount of variety, swatches galore, and everything's just super detailed. So yeah, so you'll hear me sing Peacemaker's praises a lot. Also, because of the awkward lighting in the front sunroom there, the screen porch there, it does change a little bit because I did struggle with where I wanted the stairs. As you can see right here, I get rid of the wall, which helps the lighting for the inner windows look the same color, which I was pleased with. I did playtest this, and though the Sims won't open these doors, they will walk right through them. Because you can't place a door right in front of a step. Unfortunately, you have to have at least a single tile before the step. But the Sims just walk right through the doors like they're not even there. And since there's no wall, there's nothing stopping them. The upstairs floor plan, again, I struggled. Like I said, you can't have the vaulted ceiling, so it made the rooms feel smaller. I tried to make them feel as big as I could without taking away too much. And I think I succeeded. They seem they were actually kind of fun once I got into the rooms to start decorating. Everything seems to go together really well. This kitchen set here is another one of Peacemaker's creations. I believe it's the Quentin set. I am not 100% sure, but the sink, stove, and refrigerator are from his Mina kitchen set, which I just adore because he included this fun little wall tile. It's a 1x1 tile and it has different swatches for backsplashes, so you don't have to paint the entire wall. There's a ton of different little choices for the textures and whatnot. I do wish there were more options for curtains as well in the game, or at least like give us different rod lengths and different curtain panels that could fit, I think would be great. I do believe that flooring is the hickory flooring from the cats and dogs set. I'm not 100% sure though. I do get rid of that little bump out later because I decided it was just too gaudy and didn't work well. Peacemaker made these lovely little brick wall segments that seem different widths, different just types. There was some arches, height wise. There was like little corner pieces and whatnot, and they just seemed to they kind of stuck out of the wall just a little, and it clips into the fireplace. But what I did was I ended up setting the brick pieces in place and then deleting the wall so that I could move the fireplace and TV and whatnot out, so it wasn't clipping into the brick pieces. I did struggle with placement for the island as well, because it is a narrow space, but I wanted to make sure the Sims could still walk through. So I'm not sure if they can get in, go past the left segment there of the island, walking into the kitchen, but they definitely can on the right. I did playtest that. My Sim could access all the utility or the appliances and whatnot. And I do move these mirrors around a few times because I'm trying to find the right doors to use. The house in the floor plans uses something like a pocket door, and unfortunately we don't have really anything like that. We have a single uh, barn door style kind of sliding door, but none of the swatches worked well with what I was going for, so I did use these decorative barn door swatches and just used an arch instead to pass between the master bathroom, shower, and bedroom, and that seemed to work really well. I do appreciate everybody, y'all, listening in. This is my first time doing a narration, and I'm just a little nervous, so I ramble a little bit. Although this is my third try, because I didn't realize my microphone was muted previously, so I was rambling away almost entirely through the video. All right, so here I'm figuring out the placement for the kitchen table and whatnot, and a little buffet, which I really love that buffet. I think it's so gorgeous. I do decide to change the color to match the mirror frames on the wall there, so that it's black, to kind of keep the color to keep flowing throughout the house, because the and I go with a Peacemaker designed couch set in the living room. I think they're called Bradford, but I'm not 100% sure. Although the side table I decided to use is from the Island Adventures set, I believe. But I thought the wood tone went really well, because I didn't want everything to disappear, so I wanted to go with like a darker wood tone for accents. And those lamps, I cannot get enough of that blown glass looking lamp. I use it a few more times throughout the build, and I just love it so much. Okay, there you can see the little pseudo barn door. They don't actually open, they're just decorative, so they sit open, and I just used a couple of archways, and my Sim was able to pass through them with no trouble. And I decided to go in the floor plan, the room with the shower is actually split into a hallway, a shower room, and on the opposite side of the shower was supposed to be like a bedroom closet, like a walk-in closet thing. I decided to put a vanity there instead because I thought it would just fit a little better. But I do think it kind of works really well because you could just shut that sliding door and guests don't see your shower, or your personal makeup station. And here you can see what I meant by I placed the walls. The brick segments there are just perfect for something like that. They take the fireplace off the wall, give it a little more dimension, and I believe I do shrink the fireplace down one. But here I struggled a little bit because I had to keep deleting the walls to get everything to line up right. But I do that also upstairs as well because the chimney wall continues up through the guest room. So Peacemaker made these fun little bathroom sets. One is Serenity, the other one is something else. I don't remember the name off the top of my head. I will have a list of all the mods I use currently. I haven't changed them in a little bit, so I will share a list and download links if I can to my Dropbox or whatever. I haven't figured that out yet. It'll all be in the description below, so you can figure out what you need to download so that you can have everything in place if you want to download this house. The separated makeup there is from Brazen Lotus. She likes to take a lot of clustered items together, like the makeup boxes, and just break them apart. They're like liberated makeup, I think is what it's called, something like that. And I just love that she not only did she liberate these makeup pieces, but she gave you different color choices. And it's resources that are already in the game, so it made it really simple. It's pretty simple that way. And I love the table I chose to use. It's just a little hall table that was just perfect for a vanity. I dropped a mirror onto the top of it, made it look like a nice little makeup vanity with the shag rug and whatnot. And here in the master bedroom, Peacemaker makes a lot of his beds separate, so you can choose the bed frame separate from the mattress itself. So you can choose different, you can combine all his bed frames and stuff will fit the same types of beds. There's a bed with a blanket that goes over the end and one that does not. This is the one without the blanket over the end because it has kind of a sleigh bed look. And here you'll see this pink shelf a lot throughout my build. I use it to kind of level, to place things at certain levels. There is a mod for one, but you can just do it with a regular shelf. You don't need to download a mod for it. That's why I left it as hot pink so I could find it wherever if I leave it somewhere. But it helps me place things at certain heights so that I don't have any, so I can fill up tables and whatnot. I find that the end tables in Sims 4 are just way too big, and it's frustrating because especially if you're trying to keep things small and cozy. So here I put in a nice little seating corner with some candled lights. I really love those little terrarium style lights, and some mirrors to reflect the light, make the room brighter. There's more of that lamp that I love. Some other random decor items that Peacemaker has made will go up there as well. So what I was doing right here is, for some reason, sometimes when you have a set of stairs that poke out from the end of a wall, like those ones are, so you can see the end of the stairs, there's like a little gap that appears on the wall segment below the steps between the actual wall and the stairs built-in wall. And I believe these chairs are from the backyard stuff set, which I really liked the color swatch choices. I wanted to make that entry porch just look real cozy and inviting, with a nice little outdoor seating area so that you can eat outdoors, enjoy the weather. I really did have a lot of fun with this build. It was much more complex than I thought it was going to be, and I love just kind of making it look lived in. So you'll see a lot of little clutter items throughout, and I do use that pink shelf, like I said, a lot to place things on the shelves and the counters and whatnot to kind of just fill up the space so it doesn't look so empty and unlived in. So, and here you see me put stuff up on top of the refrigerator because everybody had something on top of the refrigerator. I don't know. I don't think I've ever been in a house where there wasn't something. And here I decide on the color finally for the couches and add these really fantastic little curtains. So I went through Buy Debug and picked out a lot of little items throughout. And I do cut out a good section of it so that you're not sitting there watching me just browse through the catalog because there's so much. But one thing I did end up using out of the catalog were these like little bits of wood that I scaled down and positioned to put into the basket right next to the chair, which you'll see here in just a sec. I find like little logs and sticks and whatnot, and I just kind of fill up that little basket area. Make it look like, you're ready to add more logs to the fire, some sticks and twigs for fire starters. And I'm sure they actually kind of stick through the basket a little, but they were small enough that I didn't mind it. So here I found these little blocks that actually Kate Emerald uses a lot in her builds for gardens to act like a trim. They look like little nice, neat garden edgers, bricks and whatnot. And I wanted to go with a kind of organic look, so there's a lot of curves, and it takes me a good while to go through all of it. So I just kind of tried to fill in the highlights, going around the corners and whatnot. I do make sure everything's lined up nicely, but I'm really pleased with how they came out. I really wish my real house had a garden like this. Uh, my husband and I are both partially disabled, so yard work is very difficult for us to do. Oh, I tried to do the front yard at least, but my backyard is enormous and I need help, and I don't have a riding mower yet. So I need somebody who can endure the labor. But I am working on my own personal garden, but it's just going to take a while because there's a lot to do. This house is an old one. But I use gardens from like The Sims 4 and other people's builds as inspiration a lot. Um, I've actually even built my actual house into The Sims 4, although I'm going to redo it pretty soon here, and I'll probably record it so that you guys can see. But it will be a mock. This was before the fantastic little update came through that allows you to scooch doors and windows in any position you want, which is just fantastic. I'm so happy they released that. I I was bouncing in my chair, excited because when I found out, I watched other simmers like Lil Simsy a lot, and when she started reviewing about that and mentioned that, I was like, oh my god, no way. And when it actually came true, I was so excited. I bought the Eco Living lifestyle pack early because I wanted that so bad. And then I found out that it's going to be an automatic update anyway. But I actually really like a lot of the stuff that came with the Eco Lifestyle pack. Uh, Weirdly, I'm actually kind of like some of the chairs and couches and stuff. They're kind of reclaimed and whatnot. This dish set is from Brazen Lotus. She offers different styles, like just a plate and simple fork and knives and spoons, um, and different arrangements that you can choose from. But you have to find them in the Buy Debug menu. Here, I tried to lay out some vegetables and a cutting board and some dishes just to kind of make it look, like somebody is preparing dinner. But when I went into the live mode to do the camera shoot and the walkthrough, I found that the dishes started doing that stink cloud that you get sometimes with dirty dishes or old food. It was awful. It was the cutting board, of course. But so I do end up deleting them before the walkthrough. But here you can see how they looked at least. And I thought they looked pretty good. And I do the same here. I use my lovely little shelf friend here so that I can place a controller, remote, stack of magazines on that little coffee table. It all works really well together. And here I use the pink shelf to stack the makeup compacts so that they are at least less cluttered, you know? Because I like clutter, but I don't like a ton of clutter. Oh gosh, I'm rambling so much. I am so sorry. Here is another one of the sunrooms. I use another furniture pack from Peacemaker. These little chairs are just beautiful. They have that wicker style and they come in different colors. And they just look so realistic and comfortable, honestly. And I thought it would be a nice, lovely place for you and a loved one to sit and just enjoy the fire and have a pleasant evening with each other. As you can see, I did delete the wall again because I had to struggle getting everything to line up right. And everything wanted to snap to the wall, so I had to delete the wall so I could pull it out from the brick wall. But I think they look so nice. I tried to stick with beach kind of themes and colors, so everything's bright, lots of turquoise and pink and whatnot. And here I'm putting some lights in the garden just to kind of light up the outside so it's not so dark. And I think it looks pretty dang good if I do say so myself. And now I move on to the upstairs. And here's that other wall for the upstairs segment where I got to delete the wall a bunch. And I found out that these bricks that Peacemaker makes, the little wall segments that you'll see, he uses the base game and some of the expansion pack brick textures for, like walls and stuff. He made he got those uh, swatches and put them on in the brick wall segments that he created for the game. It's from his Loft Living set, I believe. So the brick actually matches existing brick wall textures and whatnot, and the chimney that I added up above. So it just works really well together. I kind of screwed around with this shelving idea a little bit. I decided that those hanging planters weren't really working for me, so instead I added a little potted planter on top of the shelf and some paintings just to kind of fill in this empty space. And I do buzz around a lot, and I apologize for that. It's something I'm working on so I don't make people nauseous when I do it. Here I add a seating area to the guest room with a plant, nice cozy couch. I do move the window a little bit to make it more centered, and I'm happy I did because it looks good. There you go. I use these red, what do you call them, Roman shades. I really like that look, so I make, and for this whole room as a basis for its central piece, I use the bird pattern on the blanket and the bedding as my color palette choices. So you'll see a lot of colors from the bed set throughout the room, and a lot of plants. I like plants. I like them a lot. I don't have a lot of living plants, but I do have some. I really love that rug too. It's fantastic. And here I do the bathroom. It's a Jack and Jill bathroom for the two rooms. The one is the guest room. The other one, the last room I do, I believe, is the kiddos room with a bunch of the kid stuff that Peacemaker made. And I decided to continue the black and white theme in this bathroom as well. I think it just looks really clean and sophisticated. I add some laundry baskets to each room because I didn't want to forget, because I do sometimes. Sometimes struggle a little bit because I like to find things to kind of tuck into little nooks and crannies so it doesn't look so empty, but also not too cluttered either. And here's where I start the kids' room, so we're getting close to the end here. It takes a while for me to go through this kids' room because I change a lot. I had to cut out a lot because I was just going back and forth on my decisions here. So instead, I just cut out the irrelevant bits and just kind of stuck with the final choices. From here, I'm going to let this play out, and I will see you at the end of the video. I hope you enjoy the rest of the build. everybody, here we are with the final walkthrough of the house. I really hope you enjoyed, and I appreciate you joining me today, even though I rambled so much. I am so sorry. I'll get better at that with practice, I'm sure. Um, do remember to subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you can see future updates. I have posted some Sims videos in the past. I am trying to be more consistent with it. This one was a build for a long time. That was in the running for a little while, but I only recently finished it because I had a lot of upsets come up recently in my life and had to put this aside for a little bit. But I am super happy with how this house came out, and I hope you enjoy it as well. Again, I will try and put the blueprint, a link to the blueprint, the original floor plan, and the music down below. I will also have a list of my mods and, if I can, links to the pages where I got them. I may not be able to get all the links because some of them I've had for a while and are no longer any good anymore. But the major ones like Peacemaker stuff, you should be able to find really easy. Anyhow, this is coming up on the end here. Again, thank you so much for joining me. My name is Cray Sims, and I hope to see you again in the future. Have a great night. Bye-bye.